Guys, it's been a while. I've been busy. Apologies for the lack of videos. Boy, as many of you will know, now 5 months old. Fingers crossed he's in an epic routine, which means back on YouTube. Now, when it comes to painting your own RC body shells, it's extremely rewarding. And my hope is I can save you some time, some money, and some effort by showing you the things that I've learned so far in my painting journey. If you don't already know, we're on a painting journey. I am not a professional painter. Oh no, but I am learning. I think if you haven't painted shells before, I think you'd be quite happy to run this. So let's get into it. Masking body shells. As many of you know, Bitty Design is my chosen liquid mask. And just to confirm, all of the products and information we discuss, there's going to be links in the description below. Have a little look if you want any recommendations. Bitty Design. I find it an extremely consistent liquid mask and I've never had an issue, and I think it's quite well priced. So that's the mask that I choose. Now, one of the questions I get asked all the time, and rightly so because I don't always show it, is how do I apply my liquid mask? I use standard gravity-fed spray gun. I got this in the UK from a hardware store called Screwfix. Again, there's a link below. You can find a similar gun, but this is just what you would use to spray fences, possibly some light work on cars, just generally a sprayer for standard paints, not RC paint. Again, another question I get asked a lot in my early journey. How do I use this gun? So I use a standard compressor like the one that you can see on the screen now. This is just a standard large compressor, again from the hardware store. I don't recommend getting the one that I've just shown because I've got that and it's like you're firing a truck up in the house, but you can find some other lower decibel compressors, but it is just a standard compressor, not the one that I use for airbrushing. When it comes to drawing, I just use a standard thin marker pen, and I absolutely favour, for the simple designs I do, just a standard header card, and that enables me to do nice straight lines and it conforms to the body. So always keep your header cards. They're what I use, and to be honest, they do the job really well. Now let's talk cutting. So I tried these blades, just to see if we can get that in focus. So I believe that is a number 11. I found them too pointed. They was a little bit, for me, inconsistent with the cut, so I switched over to this blade. And that's just on just a standard kind of cheap aluminium handle. I'll put a picture of the blade on the screen now so it's a little bit more clear. I found this blade particularly good with any curves, any cuts that required any kind of angles, your straight lines. I found this blade to cover all of my needs when it comes to cutting, and to be honest, I struggled with the number 11 for quite a while until I switched to this blade, and it massively improved my RC mask cutting experience. Now, the important stuff. I've tried a number of different cheaper airbrushes, and to be honest, I do get on okay, and there is some videos coming on some lower priced ones that I found. I was actually recently sent one which is actually really good. There are videos coming on that very soon, but to be honest, because I knew that I was going to be doing a lot of my own shells, I do a lot of cars for YouTube, and to be honest, I change my colours all the time. As you can see, you know, we've gone from the teal and the pink, which many of you will know, to this teal white with a sonic kind of blue, chrome, silver, and I think, to be honest, that looks really nice. So that's my new colours. Airbrushes, yeah. I went big. I went for the best airbrush that I could afford, and this is a tool that's going to last you pretty much for your life of painting body shells, I would say. So this is the Iwata HPCS. Again, there's a link in this one below. It's not cheap, but all of the woes and the struggles that I experienced going through some other airbrushes, which you can get working for you, but I just found this one to be much more consistent, and yeah, I've had zero issues with it. It was straight out the packet, it was working really well. As expected, I think it's around about £140 now, but if you're serious about airbrushing and you can afford it, I'd recommend this, but I do have some other ones coming up on the channel which I do recommend, which are almost as good, but certainly will do the job. So that's the iWater airbrush. Guys, I just wanted to very quickly stop you and interrupt you to show you what I got in the post today. Fast Tracks from CML Distribution have a brand new paint range, and I've got some to try. Hit the subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss what's coming with these paints. I'll give you a sneak peek. Check this blue out. You might not be able to see just how nice that looks. I'll give you one more little sneak peek. One more. That right there is a super fine pigment detailing black. When you know what that means, you know when you're struggling doing your shading, this is supposed to make life a little bit easier. See that? Detailing black. And it's all to come, so hit the subscribe button. Anyway, back to the video. I'd also recommend getting yourself one of these. Again, link in the description, but this is just a cheap airbrush holder. So when you're painting, you can sit your airbrush on the holder, and you can also clear out your paint if you do so desire to do it in the pot. So it just sits on your desk, nice and easy, a bit more organised. Painting, when it comes to the actual spraying itself, have a look at some older videos, have a look at some new videos which are coming. But when it comes to stencils, I prefer, so this is one of the honeycomb ones. This is from Bitty Design. I've got lots of different stencils from lots of different brands, and some just cheap generic ones. I find the Bitty Design honeycomb particularly good size, and it looks good for the scale. So that's just what I'd show you on the stencil front. What you'll also need is a hairdryer, so steal one from your partner. You don't need anything expensive, literally. I use, this is a James London styling, cheap as chips. No idea where it comes from, but it's lasted a few years. Once you've got it, you've got it. So I thought I'd add a couple of tips. Again, this is what I've learned on my journey that can hopefully help you along. I recommended a few items there which I use most days to do my own body shells. Here's a couple of tips. Do not overcomplicate your design. When I first started, only a few months ago, really, a year ago at most, I went too complicated too quickly. I wanted to do all of the shading, all of the stencils, and I ruined a number of body shells. That's why I reverted back to doing simple body shells. And when I say simple, I mean this is just really clean lines. It's 3 colours separated with outlines. And as I said earlier in the video, I think most people would be more than happy to run that shell. The good thing about keeping it simple is then once you've nailed your cut lines, your airbrush settings, once you've nailed those settings, then you can introduce detail, introduce your shading. That's the point I'm at now. Starting to introduce some shading. I'm probably going to make mistakes, and you're going to see them all. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. There's lots of videos coming. I'll see you in the next one.